Hello and welcome to episode 42 of the Championship Rounds podcast. Gonna do one episode this week, so it's a preview and review show. We'll start by this reviewing this weekend's fights. Nick Ball had a tougher than expected night against TJ Doheny, but ultimately, he got the result we all thought he would, sort of a stoppage in the second half of the fight. How did you two see it?
I mean, was it really tougher than expected? I mean, we did say he's going to go live and death.
Yeah, he's not a good champion, like at all. And the big point is that he probably should have been disqualified.
Yeah.
And instead he got nothing. So
See, the thing is, when someone does a possible disqualifying thing like that, if you don't disqualify them, you have to take 2 points away from them. That's just how it works.
and
I
they
mean,
decided
this
to not give him 1 point deduction. Oh, they did,
they
but for something else.
yeah, for something else. That's
That-
9 rounds later.
Like I can't even think what kicking someone period in the middle of the round, whenever after the round is over. That's that's multiple, and that's just multiple. You can't punch someone after the bell. You kick them. That's crazy. That's literally insane. And it's insane that there is no time for Doheny to recover, not a single point deduction. And I think he probably should have been disqualified.
I mean, this like A side bias stuff where just the A side gets like no, if Doheny did that, he's disqualified.
Without even discussing about it.
Our referee just like, no, you're out of here. What the hell is that? You can't do that. Or at the very least, he's having 2 points taken away with no fault behind it.
But instead he gets no punishment at all.
And there wasn't even any big deal made of it either. The commentator was like, "Yeah, good job by the referee." No, it wasn't a good job by the referee. It was a terrible job by the referee.
I,
Like,
I
yeah,
didn't really get much from the performance, really. Like, it was just
look,
him.
it's a very nickable performance. I mean, it's just the same every fight, really. I mean,
He's generally not that good.
like, he's like an offensive fighter. I don't really like his style. He's pretty dirty, but I'm sure people like watching him. They think he's fun.
Yeah,
I think Ball is just he's a very tough, very fit, very strong kid who does everything that he possibly can get away with to try and win fights. That's the best way to describe him. He's very, very crude. It's weird. I think he switched southpaw a couple of times and nailed the Henny a couple of times with sort of a looping left hand. I really like that shot, but yeah, he's just not that good. He's a sort of standard world champion that's reached his peak, and yeah, he's so defensively leaky. Those short arms and like the way he has a high guard marching forward, he's open to body shots all night. He'll be open to uppercuts all night by someone. Um, I can imagine Espinoza like whipping shots into the body and sort of bringing him up through his guard. Like, yeah, I don't think he looked too brilliant when he had to try and cut off the ring either. I think the Henny when he was fainting and sort of skirting around the outside gave Ball a lot. He gave Ball a lot of problems. I had him like pretty far ahead after like 6 rounds. I think I had it 4-2. The Henny.
I did as well.
Yeah.
See, the problem is, I mean, like, imagine that was a younger Doheny. He could keep up without gassing.
Imagine if he was taking punches off an actual featherweight.
Yeah, once again,
Yeah.
Doheny's power non-existent at featherweight. Like I said,
I still can't get over that kick, honestly. Because the performance, I would assume it was going to be like that anyway, because he's just not that good. But he was allowed to just kick him like that. Thinking about that and seeing the replay of that, it's just so funny.
Yeah, like sure you were held in a headlock, but then there's like a massive jump from a headlock, which we see all the time, to just kicking someone.
Yeah, if you like pushed him, then okay.
Or even throw a punch. Like, this is boxing. If you're gonna do something, throw a punch. You want to kick people, go to kickboxing.
It's like it's not even like a little. It was like a little kick. He like winded it up, and just didn't get he got a warning for it, but a warning for a kick.
And the really bad thing, a few rounds later, he picks up Doheny and throws him, and he gets a warning for that as well.
Yeah,
It's like he doesn't get a point take.
It's the same thing he got a knockdown call for.
Yeah, I tweeted that. I said that exact thing got scored a knockdown against Vargas. The exact same thing got scored a knockdown against Vargas. But yeah, like the referee was like horrifically like biased towards the A-side fighter yet again. It took Nick Ball had to physically pick up TJ Doheny, throw him to the ground twice, and kick him to the floor a significant portion of time after the bell to even get 1 point off. Like what? What we doing?
Yeah, and after that point, I mean, it was a waste of time anyway. I mean, Doheny was finished at that point.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Ball, he's effective at his style, I guess. Like, I mean, he's definitely overachieved, which you can say a lot about British fighters. And, he's effective, I guess.
If they don't get knocked out by a journeyman, then they've exceeded, basically. Because they're bad.
I think I don't know. I'll probably get. I got a lot of stick on this on Twitter, but if that Mirko Cuellar fight happens, man, Mirko Cuellar's gonna beat him. I know Cuellar looked bad against Alibo, and I know he got dropped, but style-wise, just hammering those left hooks to the body, man, Cuellar's gonna beat him. I don't think that fight happens, but if it does, all my money's on Cuellar.
Well, I'd like to see him. I mean, it won't because if he loses, he's not getting the MMA fight. They're not risking that. Definitely not risking that.
Yeah. It'll be Inoue in December, and Inoue will take his head off.
Yeah, he'll kill him.
He's gonna piss Inoue off by doing some dirty shit at the beginning, and it's gonna be bad.
If he even gets close enough to do it without he's gonna have to, because the way he charges in and squares up, he's he's just gonna get timed over and over again with long straight shots or sort of really quick hooks that he doesn't see coming, and he's just gonna get chinned.
He's gonna get his body tore up.
Yeah. I mean, look, if Inoue could have any style in front of him, he wants a Nick Ball. That's exactly what he wants. That's what he wants. He wants someone to be in front of him so he can counter. It's a perfect start matchup for him. Anyone who says different is an idiot or biased. Or both. I'm looking at you, Carl Frampton.
It's a mixture.
The thing with Ball is what, like, he squares up so much. Like, he'll throw a right hand from orthodox, and he'll swing it so hard that his right foot sort of comes forward and he's squared up, or he sort of throws himself into southpaw. And like against Dogbo, there was that knockdown call that there's an argument whether it was or wasn't. Like the ball arguably got dropped. Do you remember that fight really early?
Yeah.
I was right in front, like literally about 3 foot away from that. Like you could, the way the amount of force you can see that he just throws himself forward with. It's like it happened against Vargas as well. There was arguably a knockdown. Like it's the sort of thing where it's not outrageous that it wasn't a knockdown, but you've seen them called sort of thing. You've seen that sort of thing called a knockdown before.
Yeah,
and like
plenty of times.
if you're running onto a like in a way right hand doing that, like God, man. Yeah, I don't know. Like in a way, sort of it's literally just a matter of like how tough is Nick Ball in that fight for me. Like whether he goes early or goes late, that's literally it. How tough is Nick Ball?
I think it's how tough Nick Ball is, and how the weight with Inoue being at 126, seeing how good he is at that weight. Because I haven't been that impressed with Inoue at 122. So, but even a terrible Inoue can beat Nick Ball.
He'll just look like shit.
Yeah, but it's not brilliant. Charlie Edwards. Charlie Edwards needs to retire, and that was a terrible fight. One of the worst fights I've ever watched against Andrew Gain. I don't want to talk about it. So if you two have got anything to say, say it now.
Yeah, I mean, look, he didn't come to win. I don't really know what he was doing, but the thing is, I mean, Andrew Cain didn't even do anything himself either, really.
They landed this like same amount of punches.
I mean, look, to be honest, I think like the notable punches in that fight were landed by Charlie Edwards. He just didn't come to win, and he spent most of the time just moving and not throwing punches. You're not going to win. Well, I was going to say you're not going to win rounds by doing that, but clearly you are, because that was close on the cards for some reason.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's just if you're gonna come, if you're gonna like fight, come back, just come to win. What's the point? You're just wasting everyone's time. A waste of bloody time.
It was poor. It was poor. Yene Herrera, against Macias, like that. That to me, he's better. He's just much better. He's a much better fighter than that fight. He was boxing such a stupid fight. You're literally watching it, screaming at the TV, like, "What the hell are you doing?" Like, he sort of had 2 or 3 rounds where he was literally just holding his feet with his chin up in the air, throwing and trading for no particular reason. Then he does a Cuban sort of thing where he just sort of run, like, goes for a run for 3 rounds. And then he finally sort of does a little bit of both and stops him. And it's just like, you can mix both styles together really, really comfortably. Just don't be an idiot. For God's sake, bring that right hand up as well. Jesus.
Bring the right hand up. Bring the chin down, mostly. Look, I mean, he has looked better than that. I'm not sold, and I think he's a bad knockout waiting to happen. To be honest, just my
Like
opinion.
that,
He just looks chinnable.
If he had an opponent in him who could punch, he would have got sold.
Yeah.
The amount of clean, flush punches he was getting hit by, the punches he didn't even see either. It was like getting countered when he was throwing. Yeah, he's lucky he couldn't punch.
Yeah, he wasn't good, man. He wasn't good. He's better than that. Like that's just the thing. Like it's he's a much better fighter than that.
But like Abdullah Mason, we had the thing where he needed to bring his chin down. He can learn. Maybe he brings his chin down. It's fine. He won't get hit by that many punches again.
Yeah, you'd hope so.
I would. Just learn from these fights. Yeah, have a bad performance, but yeah, learn from it.
Yeah. Brad Strand, Baluta, I thought Strand won it by a point. I thought it was much closer than the commentary was saying, but yeah, it wasn't a knockdown. Firstly, that probably cost Brad Strand the fight, but a knockdown call.
Judge, who had it 98-91.
Yeah, that was horrific.
See, the problem is, I'm pretty sure he's still Baluta still would have won even if it wasn't a knockdown.
Because your country cannot judge or ref fights.
I was that wide one. I think one of them was 96, 94. So I don't know.
Got a
It's a
drawn
shimmy.
round for no particular reason.
Yeah. And then at wide to Strand. Well, I had Strand winning. I thought Strand won. It definitely was closer than the commentators had it. They were going crazy for Strand, but it's just this wasn't like the same Baluta that we saw. I mean, he wasn't quite as effective. I mean, he was throwing a lot and missing a lot of punches compared to what we usually see, which he was getting credit for being the aggressor, coming forward and throwing punches, which we see happen a lot, even if it's not that effective.
And Strand's got that thing. You see it with a lot of prospects. They sit in first gear and they're happy to sit in first gear, and you sort of carry that into the meaningful fights that he's having. So like, I like, even though I thought he won, I think he could have made it a lot wider. Like you've landed a good couple of shots, and then you're admiring your work, and then you're circling, and you're not throwing for another 30-40 seconds, and it's like, if you say like landed those two like jab right hand and then maybe put a hook to the body in, or maybe just threw an extra shot, like, or maybe even just threw like a little bit more instead of like a 30-40 second gap, have about a 15-20 second gap. He would have won that fight so clearly because he couldn't miss at times, but he just wasn't throwing enough.
I mean, he gassed, didn't he? Like the fifth round, it wasn't looking good. Because he started really well, won like the first 4 rounds. Then he gassed, you're like, oh, damn, this is going to be another Baluta performance. He came out a bit, and then he finished in the 10th round really well, which, I thought won him the fight. But, like, not on the judges' cards. Like, I don't have it really, like, too many problems with Baluta getting it, but wasn't a vintage Baluta against a Queensberry prospect performance.
Yeah. Jack Turner took Ryan Farrag's head off. He sort of said this would happen. Like, Farrag wrong in the 35, wrong side of 35. Like, yeah, Turner can punch, and he's big and he's strong.
Yeah,
I don't see him going
good.
that far. I don't see him going that far.
I mean, he's good. We'll see. But like, if he's trading like he did with Farrag when he iced him against like better fighters, it could be dangerous.
Yeah, but he's done that every single fight of his career. That's the thing. Like,
well, it's worked.
Yeah, but it's
gonna work until it doesn't, and then he's gonna
it's one of those.
change and put some thought behind his work.
Yeah, like he'll do that to like most of these kids in Britain, like Brian Deward and who else is there? Casey Kademi, those types of guys. Marcel Braithwaite would be a fight as well, but like he'd do that to them. But when you're stepping up against somebody that's got a chin and isn't afraid of your power, like I just saw Turner rush into Farrag. Farrag took a shot and he was petrified, and the fight was over from like the first couple of shots he took because he was just petrified of the power.
Yeah. Didn't you tweet? I can't remember who it was, asking for a Malajika fight.
Yes, I did.
Yes, I would like to see that fight.
I think that's good.
Now he's not just gonna run over Malajika, and I mean, it would even be the favorite in that fight. I don't think so. I don't think he'd be the favorite in that fight.
The Shockley fight, no.
Yeah,
like he's gonna actually have to put some thought into that. He can't just do what he's been doing against Malajika. He will lose.
Yep. But he'll be interesting. At the end of the day, he's a aggressive fighter that can punch, and they're always going to be interesting to see. Like, I just get the sense he's a little bit of a glass cannon. to be honest. But yeah, it is. He'll be fun. He won't be the sort of elite fighter they're sort of portraying him as. He won't be some sort of top world level champion. It'll be very fun, I think.
We love a glass cannon.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love a midget weight fighter who can punch.
Yeah. Because according to Steve Bunce, there's been none of them over the last few years. So
Yeah. It's not like there's one currently who was killing people at super flyweight. Well, no.
yeah.
Bloody
Bunce, man. You know we love Steve Bunce.
what's his face, isn't he? Who did he say? Bloody, I forgot his name. Dev. Who did he say?
Oh, Edwin Valero.
Yeah, Edwin Valera. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Jesus, yeah. Let's hope Jack Turner isn't the next Edwin Valero. We don't want that. We don't want that.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh, yeah, and they also called him. And he's 18 years old in the bloody tweet as well.
Sports, man. Like you could just. They had Steve Bunce there that was literally couldn't speak. Doing interviews all night. You had the TNT Sports Twitter admin just really not caring about the show. Like it's like you could tell it was their last show.
Yeah, they didn't care.
Yeah, it's just like well, yeah.
I mean, they were only 5 years off.
Only 5, yeah. Jesus, it's been a fun run on TNT Sports. There's been a lot of really poor shows at the beginning, but like the last sort of couple of years of TNT Sports and Queensbury have been quite fun.
It's been better. I'd rather them on TNT than DAZN, but I'm a massive DAZN hater, so biased.
Fuck 'em.
Yep. Talking of the zone, Aloe Williams, Patrice Volny. So frustrating, Patrice Volny.
Both of them.
I don't. Aloe Williams just isn't very good. He's got a very very strong will, and he's willing to dig in deep to win a fight, and that's like he's just not very good. It is what it is with him. Like, but Volny, man, he was technically so much better. He was so much better. He was landing every jab he was throwing. He was landing every right hand to the body he was throwing. He was just so accurate. And then, sort of, he's so economical. You can see Amo's putting everything into these early rounds. And you're thinking, Volny, come on, up it now. Come on. Like, he's a little bit tired. Like, the steam's come off his punches a bit. You're landing everything. Come on. And then he just doesn't. He boxed like a sparring partner.
He didn't do enough.
Yeah.
Like, it was close. I had it 7-5. But he just didn't do enough.
Yeah.
And I think that's always been him. I mean, he's a pretty low output fighter. I mean, I liked the fight. I thought it was a good fight. I enjoyed the fight.
It was good, yeah. It was fun. Like, it's just annoying with Volny. Because I don't know, man. Everything was landing, and he just threw it away. He threw that fight away for me.
I think a quicker start or a better finish in the 12th round, he wins the fight.
Yeah.
The judge that gave Ammo 10 rounds.
Yeah, because like even if like a lot of Ammo's combinations, like they're not landing there, landing on the gloves, like he's just outworking him so much. And like we've seen it loads of times. Judges like activity, even if activity's not landing, they prefer it.
Yeah. It's not. it's just, yeah, man, Volny, man, boxed like a sparring partner. Just spent too much time shelled up. A good hanger blasted out Jonathan Gonzalez Ortiz. Yeah, not much else to say. One of the worst opponents on a major television broadcast I've ever seen.
Yeah, I didn't even want to watch it. I didn't watch it. I mean, he missed weight. His opponent's a middleweight who has fought twice since a 10-year absence. If he didn't blast him out in 2 rounds, that would have been a disgrace.
Did you see him on the scale, by the way?
Yes, I did see him on the scale.
Like, no, like just not even the shape he was in. Just he had nothing behind the eyes. Like he was high or something. Like, what? Oh, I don't know, man. Terrible opponent. Just, yeah.
Well, maybe we're getting back to the first round knockout run for new type of opponents for Berlanga. I mean, they might as well. Why not? Why not just stick him in, see if he can go on like a 17 first round knockout streak now? Well, I'd rather that than actually take him seriously as a fighter. Even though he might fight Caleb Martinez. Which he should lose.
With ease.
But, you know, maybe Blanc just can't take a punch anymore. But then again, Belanga's never hurt anyone good.
That would make Berlanga an interim champion.
Yeah.
Plant.
Caleb Plant, if you mess this up, I'm never going to forgive you. Like, you just can't be losing to Berlanga. Sorry. I don't care if it's a 25 Caleb Plant and he's not in his prime. You just can't be losing to him.
Yeah. Jermaine Ortiz against Yomar Alamos on the sheet. I didn't watch this fight, I'm going to be honest.
I did watch it. And very competitive fight. Jermaine Ortiz's defense was absolutely terrible. He got caught so cleanly with loads of punches. And I mean, it wasn't a good performance, but it was a fun fight to watch. It was better than expected.
Fun Jermaine Ortiz fight.
Yeah,
I've heard one of those in like a couple of years.
Like he wasn't boxing. Like he was just coming forward, charging with no thought behind anything, and just getting countered. Pretty much. Like when he put some thought into it and actually used a jab, he would look good. But then he was just an idiot for loads of the fight. I think it's worth a watch, to be honest.
Okay, I'll have a look. I got told it was boring, so
No.
Okay, I'll watch that fight.
I'll post it on YouTube.
Watch it. I'll watch it probably tomorrow. Amari Jones looking on that card. He's one to look out for. Nothing really to write home about for the opponent, but he's back out in 4 weeks on the NS card. But yeah, he's a really good talent. There's not much else to say about him. Don't know if you caught anything else over this weekend. There's a Russian show, I think. Oh yeah, Lasha Gurley, the Olympic medalist, got dropped by a random Ghanaian, but won by decision. Yeah. There's not much else that happened this weekend, I don't think. Oh yes, actually last night. We'll talk about this because this was funny. Firstly, Callum Walsh knocked out Dean Sutherland, brutal knockout if you haven't seen it. It was just evident from the first couple of exchanges that Sutherland was going to get knocked out at some point. So yeah, brutal knockout. But on the undercard of this, Thomas Carty, the Irish heavyweight,
What's wrong with Irish fighters
Um,
and their knees?
the exact same thing happened in the same arena to Joe Ward, but Asian Calloway, who weighed in at 409.5 pounds, was actually having a relatively competitive fight with Carty. Neither were really throwing a lot, but both were landing when they were throwing. Calloway landed a shot, and then Carty clinched, forgetting that Calloway was over 400 pounds. So Calloway put his weight on Carty, and Carty's knee exploded. And Carty then retired in the corner after the second round. And yeah, if you haven't seen it, I've posted it on Twitter. But my God, what a weird turn of events.
Ireland need to just stop.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no hope
weird
for that in boxing.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Great.
It's really not good. It's really not good. Anyway, this week we got a couple of fights this weekend. We'll start with probably the most noteworthy. In Las Vegas, Sebastian Fundora defends his WBO and WBC super welterweight titles against Shordale Booker. In a fight that nobody really wanted, but I don't know. What do you two think about this? Because I've been thinking about this a while.
I can't read into anything about Shordale Booker, to be honest. He's fought one good opponent and got ice in a round. And he's middleweight.
Yeah, so like Fundora.
He hasn't made junior middleweight in a few years. Last time he had a fight scheduled at 154, he missed weight.
Yeah.
The last fight was at middleweight. He listed as a middleweight. I don't know how he's got this title shot, unified title shot. It's just because it's Fundora. I mean, he just seems like he could lose at any point. That's it, really. The only reason I'm not 100% confident on a Fundora win. I mean, Booker, he's southpaw. He's a typical FBA fighter, I guess.
If he doesn't stop him.
He looked strong in his last fight, but once again, at middleweight, not against a good opponent.
The only thing about Booker is I think he's got a very, very sneaky right hand over the top, and I think that will land on Fundora. It's just whether Fundora takes it. I don't know if he can, because it's Sebastian Fundora, and he's got tall man syndrome, and he's not very good. But yeah, I suppose I favour Fundora but I think it's gonna be quite a good fight, because I don't think Fundora is very good at all, and I think look, man. His last two fights have been a brutal knockout loss and a war in which he got his nose shattered and was leaking blood from the very first round. Like, people forget how bad a shape Fundora was in that zoo fight. Like, he was bleeding everywhere. Like,
I think he was cut too.
Yeah, it was a brutal war with Zoo. Yeah, like, he's had a year out. Like, I make Fundora a favourite, but I don't know. I wouldn't rule out an upset here. I think Booker has a very good chance to chin him.
Well, I
don't know
think
if he will, but he has a very, very good chance to chin him.
Yeah, I think it all depends on the weight with Booker. Him making 154.
Yeah, I agree. But if he's strong, if he's strong at 154, I think this is a really close fight, man. I just don't rate Fundora at all. To be honest, like, he's big, he's stringy, he's like just throws a lot of sort of slashing arm punches, doesn't really get behind his shots properly. Like, if you're comfortable in the fire and from sort of a bit of tape on Booker. Like, he's comfortable exchanging like that. Like, and Fundora's had tough fight after tough fight after tough fight. I don't know, man. It's a banana skin for me. I give Booker quite a good chance. He shouldn't get a shot. I don't know why they've made the fight. It's a really random fight. I don't know like why he hasn't earned a shot at all. But I give him a chance. I do give him a chance in this fight.
Yeah, I think like most half decent fighters, it's a banana skin for Fundora, to be honest. Like, it's not necessarily that he's like really terrible, because like he's good at what he does, but it's just he looks so fragile, and I just can't forget him getting chin. And he's so big. Like, what point does making 154 actually start to affect him?
But look, man, look. In what? Garcia didn't know. Lubin dropped him. That's it.
Yeah.
Garcia, I thought, beat him. And then you've got a Campo, good win, but it's Carlos Ocampo. Like, the other two decent fighters, Ocampo's fought, he's been blasted out by.
I mean, he didn't look very good against Ocampo either.
Yeah, like, it is what it is. But then Mendoza ices him and Zoo smashes his face up, and then it turns into a war. Like, I don't know. I thought he's got a false position because of sort of he's taken an opportunity where circumstances have gone his way. Fundora. I just don't think he's brilliant, to be honest.
I don't think he's. I think he's always good enough to win a world title, maybe unified champion circumstances, which he had the good circumstances. And I mean, he's just good. He's good at what he does, but it's dangerous. It's very dangerous, and he's gonna have another Brian Mendoza just because of the way he fights. It's gonna happen. Might not happen against Jordan Booker, but it's going to happen.
Yep. I'm telling you what, they won't make this fight, but if he trades on the inside with one of Boachuk, Ortiz, or Mutrozaliev, he's getting chinned.
Even if he doesn't trade on the inside, he's getting chinned because he can't fight on the outside.
Yep. Which is ridiculous for somebody that's 6'7".
Well, he figured he's better on the inside and he's fighting that way, so it makes sense. It's smart because he's terrible on the outside, but it's not smart because he's like his head is so wide open and his defense isn't very good. He's 12 foot tall and his chin is in the air.
What I want to know with him, who was coaching him as a sort of kid?
I don't know. Maybe his dad.
It was like, it just doesn't make sense. Who's like, you walk into a boxing gym, you're that size and you're that skinny. What's the first thing you do?
Maybe he wasn't 12 foot tall.
Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe he had a growth spurt at some point.
Who knows? But yeah, he's just a weird fighter, Fundora. He's fun because he's all action and he's got no defense, but like, he's not good. Well, he's good, but he's not great, I'd say.
And he's easy to root for.
Yeah. Jesus Ramos against Guido Schramm. Why? Ramos is going to run him over. Schramm's not that good. Late replacement is what it is. I just don't know why they're giving Ramos all this activity. He's literally the only PBC fighter that's getting any level of activity, which is weird.
See, it's not great, but I mean, I think it's probably better than the original opponent, which isn't saying much, but I mean, he's definitely going to run him over. I mean, Ramos is good, and he can punch.
I've seen Schramm get face planted not that long ago. So.
Yep.
Yep, and that's pretty much it. Like Ramos is good. He's another interesting guy at 154. It's a really good division. But it just makes you think, like, they're both on this card. Why couldn't you make Ramos against Fundora? You know, but yeah, it's what it is. Ramos against Fundora would have been so much fun. And then probably a really interesting fight in this card. Elijah Garcia, Terrell Gausha. I think this is really interesting. I don't know about you, sir.
Yeah, I do like the fight. But, because, I mean, he did perform okay against Carlos Adonis. I would have been like if he didn't have a fight at 160 before. But he looked fine in that fight as well. I mean, I'm favoring Garcia, but it's a tough fight to predict, to be honest.
Yeah, it's where Elijah Garcia hasn't fought in a long time. Or if he has, it hasn't been against anybody worth a damn.
No, his last fight.
I don't think he's fought since he lost.
Yeah, he hasn't. His last fight was Cameron Davis.
Yeah, remember how bad he looked in that fight?
I still can't believe someone scored that fight 98-92 to Garcia. Jesus. But yeah, like, the thing with Garcia, I think Gausha will have a lot of success early because Garcia can't defend a jab and he can't cut a ring properly. And Gausha, for all his faults, is quite good at that. But I just think Garcia is going to overwhelm him with volume and size in the second half, and that's going to be a difference. I think it'll be really competitive though, but a fight of two halves. I think it's going to be a really intriguing fight because sort of when that pendulum sort of goes in Garcia's favour, that will decide the fight for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell how Garcia is going to look coming off a loss, considering he hasn't fought. And I think Gausha is a more skilled fighter, but you know he's just not middleweight, and he's past his prime.
Garcia did miss weight by 3.5 pounds against Cameron Davis.
That is true.
He hasn't made 160 since the Canelo Charlo card.
It feels forever ago.
Yeah, it was September 2023. So it's like, yeah, who knows if Garcia can even make middleweight? Well, I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see. But yeah, that's an interesting little PVC card. It's not the best, but it's free on Amazon. It's like it's what it is. It's a Saturday night fight night, I guess. On Saturday, we'll get this one out of the way because the best fight of the weekend we'll do last. George Kambosos against Jake Wylie. Duad Jordan has just pulled out today. Why? What, like, it's just a fight to sell in Australia. Kambosos is coming home, whippy, let's all watch him, and, you know, and then he's going to go and fight Hitchens and get, like, another undeserved title shot. Well done to his management, but my God, what the hell is going on?
Well, see, once again, a late replacement better than the original fight. And why didn't they just make this fight in the first place?
The former champion stamp on it.
Former IBO champion.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I'm sure he has a fight schedule as well. He's fighting someone, I can't remember who.
Joel Taylor.
Yeah, next month, I think. In a few weeks.
Yes, on the Tim Zoo Joey Spencer undercard, allegedly.
Well, that doesn't sound promising.
Yeah, that won't happen. But Yeah, I don't know with Kambosos. He had a very, very competitive fight with an obviously compromised Teofimo Lopez and scraped past him. And he's got a multi-million-pound payday against Haney twice, a multi-million-pound payday against Lomachenko, and he's going to get a close to £1 million payday against Richards and Hitchens after this. Like, well done.
Teofimo, you're going to answer for your crimes. This is all your fault.
No, all you can say is that he's got exceptional management. That's all you can really say.
And he took his opportunity brilliantly.
Yeah.
Imagine the turn of events if Teofimo just pulled out with the like esophagus injury or whatever was going on with it. How different boxing would be.
Reschedule, then
if they just postponed it like a couple of months later.
Then he ices Kambosos.
Or he just does the right thing and vacates all the belts and says, "Nah, I'm not 140."
Or if he just has a game plan, maybe that would be good, and not just try to knock him out.
You can imagine that. Imagine that top rank fight. Teofimo Lopez, who's allegedly undisputed, maybe not, depending on the WBC franchise thing, against Josh Taylor, who's undisputed. Can you imagine how big that fight would have been? Like, yeah, it's silly. He had so much momentum, Martin Lomachenko, as well. It's really weird. But yeah, I guess it is what it is. Imam Katayev's on this undercard. Exciting, like heavyweight. He's fighting Dervel alias Palacio, who is a bit of a known name. Got knocked out by Brian Suarez. So, actually, no. To be fair, he had a competitive fight with Kevin Lele Sadjo, but that wasn't super middleweight. I remember he was holding on for dear life in that fight, if I remember correctly. I remember watching that last summer. But yeah, it's just Katayev will run forward and knock him out. Hemihio's been on the list, I believe. He's fun. Tero Moana will knock out James Singh, and there's not much else on that card at all. Not exactly brilliant, but the saviors of boxing have saved this weekend. Lester Martinez against Joeshon James on Pro Box TV.
Yeah, before one of them pull out like a week before again.
Yeah, unless that happens. We hope that doesn't happen. But yeah, I really like this fight. I
like this fight since they signed it the first time, however long ago, and then it got canceled, and then they rescheduled, and then it got canceled again. So can you two just fight already, please? Please.
Well, this is it. This is going to happen. Pro Box having the best fight of the week. Shout out to Pro Box.
I think I don't know. Martinez power is probably going to be too much. I think. I don't know.
I mean, Mr. Martinez, he's pretty good.
Yeah, he should have 16 KOs as well because, well, Gongora's corner wanted him to die in that fight because he was taking a horrendous beating.
Gongora's chin is a bit scary. It's always been scary.
Yeah, he just took a beating though. Like Martinez is really good. I do like him. Like he just needs that momentum, and like he should have. If this fight would have happened when it should have happened, like he builds that momentum up, and he's probably in another fight by now. It's just disappointing that he isn't. The line, it's frustrating. Yeah, that's a really good fight. I really like that fight. There's a couple of other fights on that Pro Box card. Vladimir Hernandez against Isaias Lucero. Hernandez is always fun. I've just seen Lucero lose to Sissoko, and that's what I've seen of him, but who knows? Different styles. And then Jesse Magdaleno's on it against Luis Coria, which is a bit random. But
Brilliant.
Anthony Cuba's back. Kelvin Davis is back. There's a load of random guys on this card. I think Charlie Sheehy's on it, is he? Or he might be on another Pro Box card, but he was scheduled to be on one Pro Box card coming up. But yeah, it's an interesting card. Pro Box War is fun. That's on Saturday. I don't think I've missed nothing from this weekend or next weekend.
No, because there's not much.
There is not much.
Nothing great.
The news. We'll start off with Angelo Leo against Tomoki Kameda has finally been announced for May 24th. After about 10 years of waiting for this announcement. It was meant to be in February, it was meant to be in March, it was meant to be in April, but now it's finally happening in May. So they've actually announced it this time, so hopefully it happens, because my God, we've been waiting so long for this. Yeah, I think Kameda's gonna get beat here pretty comfortably. I think Leo's a few levels above him.
Yep, he is. They've been longing it out just for Leo to dominate him.
Just for Kameda to lose 11-1.
Yeah. And even if it's competitive, the judges hate the Kamedas anyway, and they hate the Japanese in Japan as well. So it's gonna be Leo, whatever happens. May 28th, Yoshiki Takai defends his WBO title against Yatapong Tongde. The Thai was a good amateur. Has done absolutely nothing as a professional, but he's well scored. Takai should win, but I think Tongde's gonna give him a pretty tough fight. But the real main event, for me anyway, Masanori Rikishi against Eduardo Nunes for the vacant IBF Super Featherweight title. It would just add it already, Taj.
I hope so. It's like Rikishi's defense is so bad, but Nunez he's stiff as hell too.
I think Nunez is getting very overrated by lots of people.
I think he is too. He's also not that active either.
The way people talk about him, they talk about him like he's the next coming of Mike Tyson. I mean, he did beat Ragimov, but Ragimov, I mean, he was pretty finished, wasn't he?
You know, you see how finished he was.
And he just went life and death for Cordino. He's good.
That was a
Nunez
close fight,
good.
by the way.
Yeah, it was. Nunez is good, but I don't think he's a crazy fighter. He's just a really fun fighter who punches like crazy and Mexican.
My favorite, but to have Ibuki and Rikishi be champion at the same time,
Yeah,
fire.
I don't think Nunez is gonna run him over, but I mean I favor him. But
I like 60-40 favor Nunez.
Because I mean, obviously Rikishi, he was down against Magnesi, but Magnesi doesn't fight anything like Nunez, so he's not gonna go. He's not gonna need to look for Nunez. Nunez is gonna be there. So yeah,
even bigger than Magnesi.
So just add it already.
Yeah,
it'll be fun.
I hope Rikishi wins, but his defense, man. If Nunes cracks him, yeah, I don't know. They've both got leaky defense, but I trust the way it's weird. But the way Nunes is built, I trust his chin more than Rikishi, and I trust Nunes' power more than Rikishi.
Well, I trust Nunes' chin more than Rikishi because he's Mexican,
Doesn't mean you have to trust his body.
pretty much. Those top level Mexicans, they can just take punches forever. To the head.
Yeah. Maybe there's obviously. Rakhimov, obviously, I was being stupid there. I was going to ask, has he fought a southpaw? But of course he has. But yeah, I think that's a really good fight. Really, really fun fight.
It's the best, bro.
Yeah, they're gonna scrap it out, and then Rikishi's just gonna get weaker and weaker and weaker after every round. Probably get stopped late.
Hopefully he doesn't piss black again.
No, he's definitely going to. Well, maybe it's been a while since I watched Nunes. I can't remember if he's a headhunter or not. Probably is. Most punches are.
Oh, yes. Remember, who did he fight? He fought Mariaga.
Yeah.
That shit was horrible.
Mariaga did okay in that fight, if I remember.
That's what I'm saying. That's not good. That's not a good look.
Yeah. The problem with Nunes is he's only ever fought like one good fighter, or way past their prime fighters.
Maybe the Nunes is big, isn't he? Like, he's very muscle bound, and maybe the IBF thing will be a struggle. I don't know if it was against Rakhimov or not, but I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I still favour Nunes though. Yeah,
this should be champion at the same time. Though we need that.
Yeah, that'd be really, really fun. Yeah, one thing I will say as well, I'm glad Nunes is finally getting his shot because the way he's been treated has been absolutely horrific.
Yeah, he's been waiting ages.
Yeah. And anyway, finally, the Canelo Skull undercard got announced. A couple of fights we already knew about. Jaime Munguia, Bruno Surac. I'd favour Munguia in that fight, to be honest, but who knows? It's Munguia. He might be gone now.
I don't trust his chin at all anymore. Like how we always used to trust it, because his chin used to be ridiculous. He got dropped against Canelo. It's Canelo, but he got dropped against him, and then right after he gets chinned by a non-punching Frenchman.
See, I don't trust fighters who get an upset when they knock out someone. I don't trust them to pull it off. The rematch. I've seen it loads of times. They just wait for that one big shot, and it never happens, and they lose.
Yeah.
Especially when they're not like considered like a top fighter or good going into that fight. They just look for the same punch over and over again.
Try to replicate what they did.
Yeah, it just never happens, and they either get knocked out or they just lose a wide decision themselves.
If it's between that, I would probably pick a Munguia decision.
Yeah.
Munguia would probably be a little bit more careful than him just trying to walk down Surac and try to chin him.
You know, with Munguia, he keeps changing trainers. He's like with Reynoso now. I don't know why he's left Freddie Roach. He looked the best he's ever looked on the Freddie Roach, man. I don't know why he's left him.
No idea. Maybe he's going to end up having more trainers than Oscar De La Hoya. Probably not. That's impossible, but maybe he's going to keep going through Freddie Roach and Eric Morales and Eddie Reynoso for the rest of his career.
Silly, man. It's silly. Martin Bakoli against F.A. Dragba. I still favour Bakoli. As much as I find it really, really funny if Bakoli gets splattered, and that's what I want to happen, but I think he'll beat a Dragba.
Yeah, I favour him against the Jaguar. I think he's going to stop the Jaguar.
Yeah, probably. But I just the Jaguar's just like nothing really stands out. He's just a pretty run of the mill heavyweight contender, really.
Well, at the very least, he can punch. And
Yeah,
especially against like a Bacoli. He's not like a Frank Sanchez who's going to outbox him, make it like a dull, terrible, slow fight. Bacoli's going to give him a chance. He'll be there to beat him.
yeah.
Dwight might. It'll probably be a shootout. Probably won't go that far.
One fight that's sort of weird. I didn't really expect it on this show. Badu Jack Ryan Rozicki. I like this fight.
I like the fight too.
I think it'll be fun. Like it's neither are sort of near the top end of the cruiserweight, in my opinion. But it'll be fun. I think Jack's technically much better, but he's smaller and he's inactive and he's old. And Rozicki's just all action. Like I think it'd be a really fun fight.
Oh, I like it the most of all of the undercard fights.
Same. I agree.
And I just don't know if Badu Jack's going to win this fight. He's so inactive. He hasn't fought in so long.
He's so small as well, man.
World champion.
And, like, he did beat Makabu, but, Makabu's never been the biggest cruiserweight. Like, he's not.
Weighing it at 193. Like, Jesus
Christ. And Makabu went and got chinned by Noel Gether in about 2 minutes as well.
Yeah.
So, like, you just don't know. Like, how good was that win, really? Like, I don't know.
I think it was fine. I mean, I don't know. Especially stopping him. I mean, I did pick Badu Jack to win, but by decision.
Honestly, it was so long ago, I can't remember. I might have picked McCarthy. I don't know. Yeah, it was so long ago, man. But yeah, that's the best fight in the undercard, definitely. For the WBC title somehow, because they just gifted in like weird, just a weird situation at Cruiser. Brian Leon is on this undercard, a Cuban prospect at 6-6 KOs, so have a look for him. And Marco Verde against Michael Galvan. Marco Verde, an exceptional amateur. Won silver in Paris. Exceptional amateur, man. And yeah, he's really not a typical Mexican, but he's really, really good. Like, he's a really, really good back foot fighter. Yeah, really, really good. But yeah, that's about it. There's not much more news this week. Don't know if you've got any.
No, nothing fully confirmed. I mean, I did see the thing about Navarrete.
Oh yeah, Navarrete, Charlie Suarez is happening. That's
yeah.
But yeah, there's not much else. Yeah, it's a slow week, but yeah, there's boxing this weekend, and then the first weekend or the last weekend of March is looking quite good. There's a few title fights there. They're going to be really fun. But yeah, thank you for listening to episode 42.
See you in episode 43.